Friday Hoops Fest coming up next. It'll be Roy Hibbert and the Indiana Pacers facing off against the Atlanta Hawks. And that's all for now. Time to hand it over to Kevin Harlan and the rest of the 2K Sports crew. I'll be back with more at halftime.
Greetings, everyone. 2K Sports brings you the NBA. And brought to you by State Farm, a chance here to look at the starting lineups. First, for the Pacers, Hill and George, they're manning the back. And starting 7'2", one of the true giants in the game, another great big man out of Georgetown, Roy Hibbert. Then there's Danny Granger, and it's West in at the 4 spot. And looking at the Hawks, Teague out there with Anthony Morrow, and holding down the middle, a tremendously hard-working and versatile big man out of the Dominican Republic, Al Horford. Then there's Kyle Korver, and it's Smith in at power forward. And the basket by Morrow.
Yeah, no question that Morrow is a natural shooter, whether it's coming off a pick or just floating out beyond the arc and spotting up. He is just amazing at knocking down long-range shots.
There is just no need to warm up with Morrow. It's like as soon as he steps on the floor, he flips on the switch, he's ready to go. He can heat up in an instant like that.
Well, he wasn't going to miss that. I mean, they were way too late to get to him out there. And there were a lot of questions about how the Hawks would hold up when Al Horford was hurt early last season. And I'll tell you what, they weathered the storm pretty well, and they remained a solid team in that tough Eastern Conference.
All business there, not messing around one bit. Flushed it right with one hand.
He never does, Clark. He never does.
Well, that's kind of his trademark, those slams like that one.
Kept alive. West kicks to Hibbert. Another shot. No good. Excellent defense there from Smith.
Offensively, 1 of 4 to start. They're still trying to find their stroke.
Some could argue that Horford was one of the most important players on that team. And to be able to not miss a beat without him had to boost, I would think, Clark, the confidence of the entire team.
I agree with you, Kevin. And Horford did come back in the playoffs briefly to help. But really, it points out the depth that Atlanta had to be able to have a good season without Horford being a big part of it until late in the year with the playoffs. So I think the depth of this team is one of its strengths.
Hill against Teague. Gives him the lead pass. And the basket by Morrow.
Well, they are locked and loaded early. 3 for 3.
The Pacers have gone 2 of 5 here, making 40% so far to start out the game. Went around him with the drop step. Hill's got 5 now. Several lead changes going on here in the early portion of this game.
Yeah, but neither team really able to jump ahead.
Yeah, 5 times already the lead has changed.
That's blocked. Now Teague lets it fly, and the rebound goes to Danny Granger.
You know, you look at Jeff Teague out of Wake Forest, guys, and he's really an athletic point guard, a well put together young man with speed to burn. If I had to come up with a phrase for him, it would be speed merchant. He can fly.
Here's Morrow. The shot goes down. Very quick possession right there. He has 6.
And he knows how to finish when he gets that close to the hoop.
Earlier, Doris Burke spoke with head coach Larry Drew. And Doris, what'd you find out?
We talked about David West and what makes him such a tough player to defend. Coach said, West is special because he's so skilled for a player of his size and strength. He can score inside and also spread the floor with his shooting. He can have a quiet night and still drop 20 and 10. So we've got to stay conscious of him at all times. Guys, we'll see how they do against him.
Thanks, Doris.
And Jeff Teague, a slashing point guard, but he's developed his outside shot enough to keep defenses honest, and that allows him to unleash that speed and athleticism.
Here's Smith. No good. So Indiana will take it the other way. Hibbert with it. Now Smith defending. Goes up. West dishes to Granger. Back to West. Tipped. 1:09 left in the first quarter.
The defense got away with one there. I mean, usually he'll hurt you if you give him that kind of a shot.
There's the dish to Hibbert. here we go with Morrow running it up the court. Smith. That one goes. Count it. Indiana leading. Outside Hill. Good on the triple. Hill's got 11.
Even when they're D'ing him up, I mean, he's a very good shooter from out there.
Teague, the pass to Korver. He kicks it to Smith. And there's the feed to Teague. The Hawks working the ball around. Korver kicks to Morrow. Smith. Smith right side. Feeds to Korver. It's a 4-second differential between the shot clock and game clock.
There was just enough defensive pressure to get him off balance and cause that shot to go awry.
A nice shot by George.
Yeah, they're not going to miss too many of those. That's high percentage stuff there.
Teague dishes to Horford. He dishes it to Morrow. The three is launched. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Pacers will take it. And so here is Indiana. Three-pointer Augustine, and no good trying to get that one. And so the first quarter is in the books. Pacers lead by 6.
The Pacers, 16.
All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. Let's quickly break down the game we've seen from the Pacers so far, guys.
And it's really been a dominant effort on the glass. That's been the key here.
Yeah, they've established nice low post presence, which always tends to help you on the rebounding battle.
And Smith with the stuff.
He's a bit short for the power forward spot, but his great leaping ability more than makes up for it.
Pacers leading by 4.
And I think a big change for the Pacers, and one of the reasons they've become one of the better teams in the East, was the addition of David West. He just brought some leadership that was much needed for a very young Pacers roster.
Kyle Korver, he's checked in for Indiana. Stevie, talk about leadership. You can't overemphasize how big a difference having a vet can be. And the Pacers and David West, that was like a perfect marriage, Clark.
A hand-in-glove fit. West really was the perfect fit for a young, promising, developing team. He's a two-time All-Star. He brings experience and toughness and leadership. And he helped everybody on the team get to the same page, and they ended up having a great season.
They did. The Hawks trail by 4. Harris outside. Williams kicks to Johnson. Clock at 6. From deep. And the rebound goes to the Pacers. And let's now go to the sideline. We'll catch up here with Doris Burke. Doris?
Well, guys, Pacers-centered Roy Hibbert has trained with Tim Duncan over the last few off-seasons, and they've become friends. They stay in touch, and Duncan even offered him advice and encouragement when the Pacers were in the playoffs. Hibbert said, "I had a roller coaster first 3 years in terms of my career. Tim doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low. I model my game after him. He's somebody who looks out for me." Guys, always great to see a star take a young man under his wing.
Well, hard to think of a better mentor for Roy than the great Tim Duncan. Thanks, Doris. Mahinmi passes to George. Johnson over to help. Here's Hansbrough. No good. And Atlanta will come the other way.
And you look at Hawks coach Larry Drew, considered a player's coach. He spent 10 seasons as a player himself at the point guard position, playing for 5 different teams. So he's been in the NBA for a long time.
And the Hawks will go for a different look here. Al Horford is checked in for Pachulia. Smith comes in for Ivan Johnson. Anthony Morrow's checked in for Kyle Korver. And it's Teague in for Lou Williams. Indiana also making some changes. David West, he's checked in for Mahinmi. And George Hills subbed in for Paul George. The 3 from Morrow. Here's Horford. Can't hit the turnaround jumper. Pacers leading by 3. Here's Green. And the Pacers another 3. And Larry Drew, a basketball lifer, as Steve mentioned. Steve, what are the challenges for him with this Atlanta team, you think?
Well, they've always been a team, at least the last 5 or 6 years, that's just good enough to get to the playoffs and maybe win around, but not good enough to get over the hump. And now they're going through some changes with the trade of Joe Johnson. They've cleared up a lot of cap room. So I think the challenge is to keep them competitive while they retool and rebuild here the next few years.
For the three, and the Pacers another three.
9 straight points for them off of wide open looks from deep. Something has to change for this deep.
Yeah, they're just giving up too many easy shots out there. They've got to close out harder, get a hand up, make him put it on the floor.
Atlanta making some changes. Pachulia, he's checked in for Horford. Ivan Johnson comes in for Josh Smith. And Lewis Williams subbed in for Devin Harris. Indiana also making some changes. Roy Hibbert's checked in for Hansbrough. Mahimi comes in for David West. And it's Granger in for Green. Here's Teague.
An open lane right there. Pretty much saw the daylight he wanted and took advantage.
He had great opportunity, and he seized it without much hesitation.
Yeah, a little too easy, if you ask me. The defense really needs to tighten things up here.
That was a great angle we just saw, courtesy of Sprite.
Well, if you were following the Pacers like I did last year, Kevin, you knew that they'd be a tough team to play in the playoffs. Built for the playoffs. Size, strength, and depth. And that certainly proved to be the case. They made a good showing in their playoff run.
Here's Johnson. Hill pulls it in.
Well, he's wide open there, but really struggles from that range. Maybe there's a reason he's open.
It's stolen by Johnson. Outside Williams. He passes to Morrow. Jumps up. Off on the layup. Well, the Pacers dispatched the Magic with such ease that it turned some heads, but Steve, I know they knew the real challenges would lie ahead in the later rounds, like that physical series they had in round 2 against Miami. In fact, I think you did one of the games, game 5, down in South Florida.
Yeah, I was down there, Kevin. That was a great series, and the Pacers, they led that series 2-1. Looked like they had Miami on the ropes before Wade and LeBron kicked it into gear and ended up winning that series in 6. But I think it bodes well for Indiana, just how well they played in the regular season and giving Miami all they could handle in the playoffs.
That's an old-fashioned finish there, guys. Going to the finger roll to get the easy 2.
And here's Hill for 3. No good, trying to beat the buzzer. And so that's the end of the first half. Pacers out in front.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
And it's been great basketball going on in Atlanta.
Here we go now, the start of the third quarter, welcoming you back in a closely contested first half so far. You look at George Hill, he's really been playing well.
Yeah, give him credit. He's been very selective with his shots, and it's paying off for him and his team.
He's taken exactly what the defense has given him, and he's not forced anything. And that's exactly how you should play the game, in my opinion.
And it's Smith missing.
Well, they are getting out-rebounded here, and it's showing up on the scoreboard as well.
Yeah, it's something they're going to have to improve upon if they're going to win this game.
West inside. He's against Smith. There's the triple. And Granger with the basket on the assist from David West. Granger's got it going here in the start of the second half. The first points in the third quarter for the Pacers.
And for my money, guys, David West is really the epitome of an old-school player. His game is old school, low to the ground, tough, physical, no nonsense. He's a power forward that's a throwback, but he also has great touch out to 18 or 19 feet.
Uses the drop step, and they will get the basket here, folks, as they rule goaltending.
He almost got to that shot in time, but not quite. You can't touch the ball once it's on the way down.
Now, not a popular call, as you can hear in the background.
Not at all. Unanimous disapproval of that whistle.
Here is Korver, and the pass to Horford. Over Hibbert. Horford, good.
And the other thing about David West, he's a good ball handler. So you can go to him on the perimeter, run some dribble handoffs. He can get around you offensively. And he can do it without turning the ball over. So West, a nice option offensively. Boy, that happened fast. Just the immediate bucket off the steal.
Well, one of the things they have is the ability to score quickly after a turnover.
Hill against Teague. And stolen by Jeff Teague. Here's Moore.
Great finish there, Kevin. Took it strong to the cup.
Yeah, an aggressive two-handed jam.
And that's the kind you like, especially in traffic. You got to make sure.
And the highlight reel replay. Brought to you by Sprite. Good stuff. The Pacers shooting their second and third free throws tonight.
And you can't take those numbers lightly, fellas. I mean, their free throw shooting made a difference for them in a lot of their games last season. Since moving to Atlanta in 1968 from St. Louis, the Hawks have been a steady presence in the postseason, Kevin. Still, that penultimate goal of an NBA title has eluded them.
Looking at who's out there now for the Hawks. Pachulia, he's checked in for Horford. And Lewis Williams subbed in for Anthony Martin.
What a play. No regular dunk there. A superb alley-oop.
And it was a great pass, too, to set him up.
No, those two have such a great feel for each other. They're just fun to watch play together.
Augustine dishes to Hansbrough. It's stolen by Smith. Teague left side. And the rebound goes to the Pacers. Granger's got his fifth rebound in this one. With the Hawks in their playoff history, they've always seemed to be the good team that just was overpowered, it seems, Steve, in the end.
Yeah, they've never had that transcendent player. The closest guy they had to that was probably Dominique Wilkins, but he was playing in the era when Bird and Magic and Jordan were dominating the league. So it's just been one of those things for Atlanta. They just haven't been able to get over that hump. They've been good, they just haven't been great.
The three from Hill. And the Pacers can't get it to go.
Boy, just by his body language, Kevin, you can tell he thought that triple was going to fall.
Yeah, a little frustrated now, shaking his head after that miss.
Teague kicks to Williams. Teague, the pass to Pachulia. Offensive rebound. It's blocked. Now the Pacers moving it up. Here's Granger, and stolen by Jeff Teague. Teague left side. Kicks to Korver. Outside Williams. He feeds it to Smith for the lead. That drops, and it comes off an assist from Williams. And that's now 17 points for Smith. Hill up top. Teague covering. Off the run. Gets the bucket. And that's 18 points for Hill.
Unbelievable. Three-pointers for both sides in just a matter of seconds.
Now I think it's a matter of them just trying to top each other.
Passes it to Korver. Three-pointer. And that comes off the assist by Jeff Teague. Teague's got 5 assists in the game.
Now they are hitting everything they're throwing up. Look at all these threes.
I like the fact, Steve, they're trying to knock them out here. They're trying to hit them with a haymaker. The killer instinct, they're trying to put them out of their misery early.
6 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Here's Williams. And Granger with the block. And he recovers it. Williams gets the bucket.
They can't seem to stop anybody inside.
They got to know that if they don't make life tougher in the paint, the opponent is just going to keep going there. I mean, it's not like they'll get tired of all these in-close opportunities.
Augustine, no luck.
Well, that's a bad miss right there. I mean, you'd like to see him be a little more assertive when he has such good position.
No good on the buzzer beater. The points coming in bunches as we wrap up the third quarter. It's been a good one. Your Hawks lead by 4. And coming up as soon as we return from break, the fourth quarter getting going here. It's time for the Sprite Uncontainable Game. Doris Burke at the report. Hi, Doris.
Yes, Kevin, our uncontainable game in this one, the stretch by the Atlanta Hawks. It was in the third quarter when things started falling their way, and they were able to build this lead. No doubt they'll try to keep that momentum going through the end.
Thank you, Doris. And how many times, guys, do we see a run like this become the difference maker in the outcome of a game?
Well, that usually is the case, Kevin, when one team can get on.
Oh, what a play!
Oh, look at that.
That is a
Bringing down the house.
Yeah, Kevin, there's no question that he's one of the players that people pay to see. I mean, he's capable of some real artistry in terms of his dunking and his athleticism.
I would love to see one or two here today, Steve. I don't know if he plans them or if they're spur of the moment, but I do know this. They're always spectacular.
From deep, Morrow. There's the block. Rises up and throws it down.
You know, the defense that time was just content to stay out of the way. I mean, no resistance at all. They let him do exactly what he wanted to right there.
Steve, no one looked too anxious to take him on.
No, you know, guys, I think that speaks to his strength and his agility. I mean, he's not a guy you want to stand in the way of as a defender.
Here's Williams. It's rebounded by Indiana. West has got 6 rebounds here tonight. But Trey and Horford pulls it down. Horford's got 6 rebounds now in the game. Dishes to Morrow. With the lead pass, Williams. Johnson buries it down low. And the Hawks lead by 2. Final quarter of play, about a minute and a half off the clock into it. Here's Green, nailed from three-point land. Green's got 7 points here in this quarter.
He's been so solid. You've got to keep him out there on the floor. Really doing a nice job for the offense.
Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Well, over the break, I listened in on Larry Drew's huddle. He's looking for whatever they have left in the tank. He said, I know it's been a hard-fought game, but now's not the time to leave anything in reserve. If you're tired, come out. Otherwise, I expect you to be going all out, full speed. Guys?
And thank you for that, Doris. Here's West. Rebound by the Hawks. Fast break, the Hawks. Korver with the ball. And Hibbert with the block. And finished off by Horford. The Pacers have gone 3 of 5 here in the fourth quarter. Pretty good numbers coming out of the break. And here's Hill for 3. Shot is no good. The Hawks leading. Just under 2.5 minutes gone here in the final quarter.
Great display of that mid-range touch right now.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with taking a step in and knocking down a few. I know you were a great marksman from the three-point line, but sometimes people only see the game in threes and layups. That mid-range game is alive and well here tonight.
Here's Williams. He is hauled in by Paul George. George has got his 3rd rebound on the night.
Tell you what, things just aren't bouncing his way this quarter.
Here's West, and the shot is good.
Made that one look easy, didn't they?
We're in the final quarter of play here, 3 minutes in. Teague with the ball, who's picked up by Hill. Here's Williams. It's blocked.
He's really struggling in this quarter right now. They need to think about getting the ball out of his hand.
For 3, Hill. But they recover it. George dishes to Hill. From deep three-point range. Rebound Atlanta. Smith's got his 4th rebound in this one. Here's Korver. Drills the baseline jumper.
And now the crowd really getting into it.
Listen to that.
It is shaking in here, guys. Absolutely insane.
And a little over 3.5 minutes in the books so far here in the fourth. The Hawks leading by 3. Outside Williams. Goes back up. And Horford with the lay-in.
You know, you look at how this has played out so far, and they've really had a big advantage inside.
Well, they're getting higher percentage shots in the lane, and they're getting a bounce here or there, but I think they're playing pretty well down there.
They get the rebound. And here's Hill for 3. Great D that time from T.
He's got to contribute. He's got to produce if his team's going to get back in it in this quarter.
West against Williams. Out to Smith. Back to Williams. From downtown. Again, Williams missing.
He has just disappeared this quarter, not making a mark at all offensively.
And I'm sure he's ready to put this quarter behind him and quickly.
Right at the free throw line. It's good. What a beautiful shot to bring him to within 3. And a big play there to mute the crowd.
Yeah, that one kind of took all of the life out of him there, Kevin.
Kind of quieted the voices in here, didn't it?
And the Hawks making a change here. Morrow's checked in. And now we've got the intentional foul.
Yeah, you got to freeze the clock. I mean, that's the enemy in this situation.
A few misses at the line, and they're in good shape.
First free throw is good, and that gives them a 4-point cushion. Second one is good. Hitting both at the line, and it's a 5-point game.
2-possession game now, so strategically everything changes a little bit. Those were very important foul shots.
And the Pacers call time here. They're behind by 5. There's 21 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. Guys, what's your take?
Well, they need to draw something up here. I think they'll go for a quick 2. And if not, maybe break somebody free for a long three-pointer.
And they have to know they need to foul right after the shot goes in as well.
The Hawks making a switch here. Williams is checked in. So an entirely new group in now for Indiana. Mahinmi's checked in for Hibbert. Hansbrough comes in for David West. Green, he's checked in for Danny Granger. And DJ Augustine subbed in for George Hill. So he goes 2 for 2 at the line, and it's a 7-point game.
Just calm and composed at the line. He tacks a few more points onto this lead.
There's 14 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. And they go to the intentional foul.
Yeah, with the game out of reach, intentional fouls don't mean anything. It's just an exercise in futility. Let the clock go.
I agree with you, Clark. It just doesn't really compute at this point.
He's able to hit the second one, and that stretches their lead to 8. Augustine up top. He's guarded by Williams. Knocked loose, and that's out of bounds. Indiana will retain possession. Three-pointer Augustine. Shot misses. And so the Hawks take the win. They pulled off this win, Clark, with respectable performances on both ends of the floor.
Yeah,